Alright, what's up? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Talks with AJ. First, I'll do a quick introduction. My name's AJ. I'm a heavy metal solo artist. Sorry, it's really early in the morning. It's not really early, it's like 5. And I'm realizing how crappy my video looks in this room without my light. So I'm going to put that back up for next time because it looks crappy. Maybe it's also my glasses. Anyways, I'm a heavy metal solo artist. My project is Fire from Heaven. That's his page. Hang on. Alright. Heavy metal solo artist, and as my genre, to specify it would, basically what I do is heavy metal. I do a lot of death growling and stuff like that, but just to generalize, I say heavy metal. But also, I also like to call it mythical metal just to differentiate myself a little bit. There's thousands of even just metal artists out there, so I try to do something to differentiate just a little bit. So I call it mythical metal, and I incorporate a lot of storytelling and stuff like that. So there's that. So I'm just a normal person that likes making music, and I have this page to connect with fans, and I do these lives to just to connect, because I'm not a touring artist, so I try to do everything I can to connect with my fans through the internet. So yeah, I think that's all I need to do for the introduction. Oh yeah, this is these lives, and like if you're listening to the podcast version, which I put the audio for these all up on a podcast called the Fire from Heaven Philosophy, and that basically just means a set of ideas behind the music and behind like me and my work. So it's mainly about my music, Fire from Heaven, but I'm also an author, and I'm actually going to talk a little bit about that today. But yeah, so I call these usually these live videos. I'll title them Fire from Heaven Live, FFH Live, Fire from Heaven Live, and then I do different talks, like morning talks or break talks during the day or whatever, evening talks, it's whatever. But I usually record these lives throughout the week and publish them as a podcast on podcasting platforms. So whatever platform you're on, thanks for listening or watching, and share it around if you enjoy it. This is a way to connect with fans and stuff, but I also try to add value and things I've learned in life, or that's especially a lot of what I talk about, is things I'm learning or working on or just practicing, in my personal life as well as in my work. So yeah, today I was going to talk a little bit about writing a book, just for anyone who wants to do it. A while back, I did a series on my podcast. I didn't record them as lives because, since I started my podcast, just kind of experimenting with different formats and stuff. I decided that the lives were the best way to do it because I can record them. They upload to Facebook easier than just trying to record a video and do it, because they take forever to upload a video if you record a video separately. If you do a live, you just press share and it uploads it already. So it's easier that way. And also, I just go and it's on my Facebook page now, like forever. So I can just go and download it and add the audio and video, because podcasting platforms are now accepting video forms too. So, there's that. I think like the first 60 or so episodes of my podcast are uploaded on Facebook. I'm pretty sure they still left them up because for a while Facebook had podcasts where you could like they would publish your each new episode on Facebook, and I had a lot of people listening for a while through that format, which is really frustrating because my listener numbers went down a lot. Which is also because like the people who would listen on Facebook, they're just listening to the lives and not going back and listening to the podcast, which is fine. Um, so, um, oh yeah, I was gonna get to that. So this is basically these lives are just kind of like a daily documentary of like me, and like I said, things I'm doing in life, things I'm learning, things I'm working on, whether it's music or a book or whatever. A lot of times they're linked. So I've released like one album called The Evil Wolf Chronicles. I'm working on like a fantasy book, and they're linked, and all my albums are kind of based in this fantasy world that I've been working on, building. Um, and I've just stuck to calling it Tales of Adar or Adare. I've been trying to decide like what to call it. It's basically the Hebrew word for fire, I think, or yeah, I could be wrong because I don't think that's true. Actually, I think it was something about fire. That's basically just like a fictional world, kind of like Lord of the Rings or things like that. My own version of that, I guess. But I really like that kind of thing. I like writing about it. And today is Mythical Monday. It used to be Motivational Monday, but I changed Wednesday. I didn't change Wednesday, but Wednesday is called Warrior Wednesday, and that's kind of going to be the new Motivational Monday. Because before I was doing motivational type posts um, on Monday or on Wednesdays too. So, oh yeah, the main idea for the episode. um, I'm recording this at 5, so like sometimes I like feel like I'm gonna wake somebody up, but it's so loud in my room. I know I'm not gonna wake anybody up. Literally, like the past week or so, I've been recording vocal screaming, like at 9 or 10 in the night, and my wife hasn't even heard me. So I don't know why I'm worried about like keeping quiet. So the main idea now, finally gonna talk about it. Writing a book. I've had this like idea to talk about in an episode for a while, and like my idea was writing a book from like a normal person's perspective. Um, anything that I've ever wanted to do, the best way to kind of figure out how to do it is to find a way you can do it on a daily basis. So, whenever I actually finally wrote my first book, which is something I've wanted to do for a very long time, since I was like a kid, and I would try to write as a kid, I would maybe get like a page or two, and that was it. I would give up on it. Like a kid, sometimes you just don't have the character to stick through something unless you have someone like pushing you to do it. Um, but what's cool is like the same ideas I was developing as a kid, like this kind of story arc and stuff like that. It's what my story is now, like my fictional stories and stuff. It's like what it's come to be now. From like, it's still the same thing. It's just cool how it's like how ideas grow and evolve if you stick with them. So I always had the drafts and stuff written down and in a binder for the longest time. But I think that's the first thing is to write a book. Just kind of let ideas flow. Whatever. Don't try to force one idea of what you want for a book, because I've tried that, and for like the longest time I wanted to write a fictional book and I never did because I just always tried to force to write that idea. And I mean, I guess that can work sometimes. Sometimes you just got to make yourself do something, and then ideas start flowing. Um, but you know what? Just for like this, I'm just gonna say, especially for your first time, when you're just trying to start. Do whatever it takes to start. So, just start dumping ideas. I call it brain dumping. It's just unloading any ideas you have onto paper, or like what I like to use is Google Docs. It's really easy, simple. It's upload to a cloud, so it's no matter what device I'm on, my computer, my laptop, or my phone, that it's all linked. So, and it's free. You can pay for like Google storage or whatever, because I have like just a huge data bank of ideas and different things and stuff. So, you might have to pay for a little bit of extra storage, but like most notebook apps and stuff like that, you have to pay to like have them connected on different devices and stuff like that, or you have to have some sort of premium subscription and stuff like that. I don't know. I think that stuff's annoying, but also, sometimes you just need to be willing to invest a little bit in something that'll work for you. But I think the tools aren't the issue. It's more of just, the idea of what you're using it for. You can use a notebook. Doesn't really matter. Just find something you can have consistently with you on a daily basis throughout your day. That's just the one thing that's hard with a notebook, is kind of, you can carry like one of those pocket notebooks. That's how people used to do it. Like some of the books I've read of like these charismatic personalities, like these millionaires or whatever, who have these huge companies and stuff like that. They used to carry a notebook around and write their ideas down. So whatever works for you, really, like just find whatever works for you. I'm gonna share like what I've done, but experiment and find what works for you. So that's kind of like the first step. It's just dumping ideas and stuff like that, and then my coffee's getting a little bit lukewarm. Yeah, I might have to go warm it up. Second step, I think, would be, once you got your ideas dumped, whatever, just picking one you think would be easiest for you to write about. So my first book wasn't a fictional story. It's more about just like my set of ideas as an artist and making art, or pretty much doing any work really. It's specified to artists, but I think the ideas can be generalized to anything, any kind of work. It's called Shortlived Artist versus the Enduring Artist. And I keep saying this in like every video where I mention it. Like I'm not traditionally publishing it or anything, but I haven't published it at all. Only to my fan club. So, gosh, I've just been trying to crack down on finishing my album. Any free time I have, I try to work on that. But right at the outset, when I finished the book, I was going to try and record an audiobook. It's not that long, so it wouldn't take me that long to record an audiobook, honestly. So I don't know why I don't just do it. I promise you guys, it will be up at some point to where you can get it and read it. Maybe I should just put it up for free. I might actually do that. But yeah, life's also just crazy, and you're trying to figure out how to do all the things you should do, while on top of having more things added to that, especially while being a new dad. But I keep getting off on rabbit trails. I need to not do that, because I need to finish, because I have other stuff to do before I have to go to my day job. So get the ideas, just dump the ideas, make sure there's somewhere where you can always find them, and where you can, again, like I said, if it's something you can have throughout your day, then always do that, because sometimes you just get random ideas throughout the day, and you're like, oh, that's a good idea. Then you forget about it at the end of the day if you don't write it down. So always try to be a good steward of your ideas and write them down so you don't forget them. Because just try to view them as they're not yours. they pop into your head, you don't do anything with them, then they're just going to go to someone else. So, there's that. Start with the idea you think would be easiest for you to write about most. So again, my book wasn't a fictional book. My first book wasn't. It was about my philosophy as an artist and just things I've learned about being an artist and how to be a good artist, basically, is basically what it's about. So, I've had a lot of experience with that. Been writing music for like 5 years. So, it was just easiest for me to write about that. I've tried writing fiction several times. I'm just not very, I don't want to say I'm not very good at it because I'm doing it now, but it's a little bit harder when you're trying to completely create your own world from scratch than writing about something you've experienced. So whatever's easiest for you, I would say do that. Just because like once you get one book out of the way, it's like boom, yes, you finally did it. Got a book written. Now you're just like, you're more encouraged to be persistent with other ideas that will take a little bit more time. So, next thing is work out some sort of schedule where you can do it on a daily basis or on a consistent basis at least. On like at least a consistent weekly basis, once a week basis, if you have to. Find whatever you have to do in order to do it, just do it. I'm going to always want to trying to make it a daily thing because small things done every day, they add up really fast. So how I wrote my book was basically every day on my 10-minute one of my work breaks at my day job, 10 minutes. I get 2 10-minute breaks and then a lunch break, So during my 10-minute breaks, I would write. It's like, that might be hard for you to get into the zone of writing for just for 10 minutes, Sometimes when I'm writing music, it takes me a while to get into the zone and I hate being interrupted and stuff. It's good to have times of deep work where you're uninterrupted for an hour or so. It's nice to have that, but sometimes we're all just, we just have so much going on. We don't, always have that kind of time. So finding a way you can do it every single day, it just adds up. You just gotta trust the process and be consistent with it. I think it was a process for maybe 6 months, maybe less, that it took me to write that book. Just 10 minutes a day, basically. I have 2 10-minute breaks, but I would just use one of them to write. So 10 minutes a day, I was thinking about writing a book about that. But sometimes that's just all it takes. Just a little bit of time every single day. It adds up. Most people are spending their work breaks on their phones, anyway. So why not be creating something rather than just consuming, And, I talk about my art philosophy a lot in my books. You're given talents as an artist, not just to sit there and keep it all to yourself. And this is kind of more of an ethical art philosophy. That's more, rather than my set of ideas. I think ethically as an artist, you have a responsibility to share your talents with the world because it inspires other people to share their talents with the world, which just, I don't know. I think from a philosophy standpoint, the world would be a better place if people didn't just take all the time and they, put something back. So yeah, that's what I try to encourage artists to do in my book, The Shortlived Artist versus the Enduring Artist. So, just if you're wanting to write a book, find a way you can just do it every single day. Find an idea that's easy for you to write about, a topic that's easy for you to write about that you know a lot about, and just write. The only other thing I would add to that is read some books about how to write books. It sounds dumb. Read listen, grow, be a student, learn how to do those things, listen to people who have done it. Stephen Pressfield has a book called No One Wants to Read Your Shit. It's a really good book about writing books. He's also got a lot of other good books about, just creating art or whatever, just doing the work it is you should be doing. So, to conclude, I don't know what I was going to conclude with, but yeah, be a student as well. In order to be a writer, sometimes you gotta be a reader. So, just make sure you're doing things to grow in some point as well, like the more you expand your own thinking by learning from other people, the more things you'll have to write about yourself too. So, and the more it'll help your writing as well, So make sure you're always growing, because that also contributes to whatever it is you create. Me growing as a person, learning more about life and stuff like that contributes to my music, contributes to my writing, contributes to everything. So always be a student, always be reading and growing, and also be a listener. I like listening to audiobooks. Sometimes it's easier to consume books that way. Find things that work for you, and yeah. So I'm going to conclude with that thought. Also, in a little bit, I'm going to be experimenting with live streaming on my way to work, riding my bike. So we're going to see how that goes. I decided I would record this episode just in case it doesn't go well. So I recorded an episode today just to make sure. We'll see how it goes. But see you later. Stay metal.